And hello, world. What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. We're here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Our next guest, believe it or not, is a seasoned veteran. This dude's been working in the business for over a decade, and this last year or so has clearly been a busy one. You can catch him right now in the Netflix hit Lock and Key, and soon you'll be able to see him starring alongside Pete Davidson in Hulu's big Time Adolescence. Oh my God, make a crazy amount of noise, and please welcome the great Griffin Gluck. Do it up. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you. You made me sound so cool.
You are pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Stop it. Come on.
Oh, come on.
You're gonna make my head huge.
I'd rather you be modest about it, so this is a good look. But
All right,
I'm going to tell you definitively, you're pretty cool.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Cheers, man. Congrats on this movie. Congrats on everything. You got a lot of great stuff that's happening right now and very recently. I'm excited to chat about it. In general, how's life? How's Griffin doing? How are things? How are you?
Griffin's good. Griffin's stressed. I'm also a full-time student at Bard College right now. So I missed class today. I'm sorry, Professor Bertholt. I know.
Tell them you would be here, or was there some elaborate lie?
No, I just said I had to go to the city. So they're probably not even watching this. But if you are, hello and thank you for letting me miss class.
Make its way back to it.
Yeah, I've been good, man. I've been staying busy, doing school. When I'm not doing school, I'm trying to work.
Well, that was one of the things I was curious about, is that for a lot of your career, be it in this film or one of the million other things you've done, you've portrayed life in middle school, in high school, and all these varying levels of school. Like, you've been through so much entertainment school, and I was wondering, how have you navigated actual school while being in fake school for TV and film? Like, has that been hard?
It's super hard. It's super, super hard. I mean, missing today is going to, like, set me back a bunch. The next week's just going to be a bunch of catch-up work. But it's been, like, I've balanced it. I've done fairly well. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm a straight A student, but, you know, I think I do pretty well for my situation. Yeah, school's just, it's interesting. I love school. I love the things that I'm studying, everything I'm learning. So I'm never going to stop doing that, but I also love working, so I'm never going to stop doing this. I mean, if I can keep balancing it as well as I am now, then I'm going to keep doing that. And I mean, I don't want to say as well as I am now. I'm not doing well.
You're missing a class.
I'm not doing well right now, but you know, I'm not doing terrible. So as long as I'm passing and I'm doing good in both worlds, I'm happy.
You know what that means? Room for growth.
Exactly. There we go.
That's a good position to be in.
Much.
That's perfect.
Nowhere to go but up.
Exactly. Well, let's talk a little bit about this movie, man. I got a chance to see it, and I said it before off camera. I'll say it here. You are awesome in this movie. You and Pete together are great as a duo. It's so much fun to watch, you guys. How did it start? What were auditions like? How did you get involved with the film?
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the audition process was like, you know, pretty much like any other auditioning process. But the second I stepped into the room, Jason and you know, everyone who was in there from American High, were super friendly. They made the room super comfortable, and they sort of just wanted to, like, you know, see what I could do, and then the rest of the audition was just us talking. And I ran into Thomas Barbuska, who was in middle school with me. I've been working with him for like 5 years. He's like my best friend in the industry.
I was going to ask, because you had posted something on Instagram of, like, here's the last decade.
Yeah.
And, like, every other picture, it's the two of you. I was like, these guys just keep working together.
Yeah. So, I mean, I ran into him at the audition. We were both auditioning for Mo, actually. Yeah. And then when Jason called and told me that he wanted me, you know, I called Thomas and I was like, dude, I got the role. And Thomas was like, dude, I know, I got the other role. And he was like, I was gassing you up to Jason. I was like, perfect, dude, I love that. But the audition process was just, it was easy. It was really good. I think Jason and I got along really well in our conversations, and him and I talked about what, you know, we wanted for Mo and what he thought of the project, what I thought of the project. And I don't know, we just got along really well, and it was like we just clicked. It was super easy after that.
How early into did you know from the very beginning that you'd be working alongside Pete? Was that, like, day one you knew that's what you were auditioning for?
Actually, no. During the audition, no. But then on the follow-up, yes, I did know.
What did you think when you found out that you were going to be alongside this guy?
Dude, I was like so stoked. Pete's hilarious. I mean, like, how would you feel if you found out, right? I mean,
he's one of those guys that's just inherently funny. Like, even if he's not trying to be funny, he's just saying whatever it is he wanted to say in that moment.
Whatever comes out of his mouth is funny.
Was it hard, because there's some like sincere dramatic moments you got to play up? Was it hard to not break when working with Pete? Would he deliver stuff off the cuff?
No, he's actually a really great actor, which I think, like, we were all surprised by, because he'd never really done anything, you know, huge. This is like his first leading role, you know? And he crushed it, dude. He was really easy. I mean, the movie does have a lot of, like, you know, down to earth, like, very heartfelt scenes, but it also has a lot of really, really funny scenes. And Pete was able to like play it up for the funny scenes, and him and I would play off each other, and you know the chemistry felt great. And you know, from watching it, I think I'm really happy with how it looks. So the funny scenes were just super easy, and then everything else came pretty naturally. And then when it got more serious, you know, we took things more seriously, and we put away the jokes for now, which I think we both did a good job of being able to do. So, no, it wasn't that hard at all.
How many of the jokes were waiting for you on the page in the script, and how much did he sit back and go, you guys just kind of have fun with it for a minute, because you're both funny guys?
We had a rule on set. We'd have one for Jason and then one for us. So as long as we got the scene the way Jason wanted it, like at least once all the way through, the rest was just free for us to like mess around with and play. So I mean, Jason had a lot of really great jokes in there that made the cut, but when you add Pete into the mix, he's going to throw some jokes in there too, and then I've got to react and play off that. So a lot of what you see is it's a really healthy mix of like scripted and completely just like ad-libbed.
Was that intimidating at all? Pete's just cool as shit. He comes from a comedy background. He's really comfortable at like being funny in that moment. You have your own background. You've been working for 10 years, so you've got your own comfort zone.
You make me feel so old when you say that.
Well, no, you showed when you were what, like 9? How old?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why I say believe it or not.
Right,
it's crazy that you've been doing it for as long as you have. You're not old. Don't worry.
Okay, cool.
Nobody in this room thinks you're old. I promise you that. Maybe one person.
Maybe one.
There's got,
right? I'm looking at faces right now.
There we are. You could see them thinking, this kid's old.
You know who you are.
But the question I wanted to ask is that intimidating? Or were you excited to be able to do that? Did you learn from Pete watching him do his thing?
Yeah, I definitely learned. I've learned from everyone that I've worked with. I think comedy is like definitely something that like sticks with you, and just comedic sense. You know, dry comedy. I got a lot of dry influence from like Adam Sandler. Growing up, especially since he was like the first person I like really worked with. That was like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Basically, yeah, you learn a lot from like different people's methods. You know, everyone in the acting world does things differently, and Pete's is very like just straight to the comedy. And I think I learned a lot from that.
Do you when you learn, is it mostly through observation, or do you ever like ask them questions and stuff like that? You just kind of pay attention?
I mean, I'll ask him questions like, how the fuck did you think of that? That's like so ridiculous, you know? But other than that, no. I mean, it's mostly just through observation. It's just like, I don't understand how your brain works, but I like it, and I want to like copy it.
I want to be a part of whatever this wave is that you're riding kind of thing. Was Adam, that was like the first big set that you were on too, right? Is that when you were like 9?
Yeah, that was when I was like 9. It was the first big set I'd been on. Both my parents are in the industry, though. My dad's a director, so I wasn't like, you know, completely new to it. It wasn't completely foreign to me. So getting on that set, like I had some basis of like, you know, understanding of like what's going on, you know, what people are doing. But from like an acting standpoint, no, I had no clue. I learned pretty much everything I know from that set. Well, I mean, yeah, I can't like count the things that I've learned, but I mean, that was.
I'm not asking you to write a book yet. You're not that old, but
yeah. But yeah, definitely, it was my first experience, and like everything that I drew from that, I moved into my later work.
Very cool. What were you and Pete doing like between takes? Obviously, you're having a lot of fun on camera. What were you doing when you were just hanging out? Like, did you guys click just as quickly as you did with everyone else? Like, or did it take a minute for you guys to find your rhythm? Because it feels so natural when you watch it.
Well, I'm thinking about that. The first couple days of me being on set were no Pete involved. It was all of my scenes alone. So I actually met him on like my third day. I met him during the table read, of course, but then like him and I sort of like really got to get much closer on the third day. But once we started working together, we were both like, "Hey, I think you're cool," and he was like, "I think you're cool," and I was like, "All right, word." So we were, it was easy to be friends with him. I mean, in between takes, we were just like messing around. We bought like an old Wii and put it in the trailers, and like between takes, we'd play Wii.
Bowling? What were you doing back there?
I think. Yeah, mostly bowling. Yeah,
that's the go-to when you got an
bowling
old
and Mario Kart. I mean, that's like,
exactly.
What else
are the ones?
Do?
You don't need anything else.
Yeah, you need. I mean, maybe tennis, but like not even really.
Let's calm down. All right,
let's not get too crazy.
Let's not get crazy here.
But like there were some crazy times off set, man. There was this one weekend where Colson MGK, he was doing his he was doing EST Fest in Ohio. So we drove. Yeah, so I mean, he wrapped work and he went to go do his festival, and then it was on a weekend. So I think Saturday morning at like 6 a.m. we got in a car and drove to Ohio to go to the music festival, and then we drove back Sunday to make it back in time for work. And I mean, like, it was
Greatest weekend ever.
It was. I mean, filming this movie was literally summer camp. I mean, when we weren't working, we were just hanging out, and we were doing like whatever, literally.
That's incredible, man. Yeah, I saw. I think I saw a picture of that on your Insta as well, and I
Yeah,
was like,
that
"This
was a
dude,
crazy night.
it must have just been like, obviously you're working, but like when you have that group of people, everyone's
Yeah.
just kind of hanging out and having a good time and partying. Like the vibe had to be very relaxed, very
Vibe was
chill.
awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Is that unique? Like you think back to all the other projects you've worked on, have you ever had that much of a relaxed vibe before?
No, not at all. I mean, there was no other projects where I went to like a music festival just on a weekend. It's not very common. Yeah, this was definitely like when I say it felt like summer camp. Like it did feel like summer camp. I can't really compare that to any other project. The closest one I would say would probably be American Vandal. Just because we had so much room to like play there, and it was like so goofy that we were all just messing around all the time. But this is like to a whole nother.
One of the all-time favorite things you've done for me is the American Vandal stuff.
Really?
That show's amazing.
Thank you so much, man.
And it was one of those things where, had it come out in any other time period, I think people would have watched it and gone, "Did this really happen? Like,
Yeah.
you guys really?"
No, I mean, some people
yeah.
come up to me on the street and they're like, Sam. I'm like, who?
Not me.
Not me.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people think that's real still, yeah.
Did you guys ever? I feel like that show ended before it should have. Did you guys ever talk about like the next big crime that you would have investigated? Like,
Oh, yeah.
What were some of the ideas that they were tossing
Oh
around?
man,
Or
I don't
can
know.
you not talk
I
about it?
don't want to toss around because
It may still happen.
we're still hoping on a season 3. You know, we've got things in the works. We're going. I know Tony and Dan have a lot of season 3 actually written.
No way.
They had it written in case we got picked up, and now it's sort of just sitting there.
It's waiting to happen.
Yeah,
It'll come around.
it'll
That's
come
awesome.
around. I'm hoping so.
You're obviously a little bit older than Mo, because again, as we've
Just a
established
little,
earlier, yeah, you're quite old, and no, but Pete's also older than Zeke. But I think I was looking at it; it's like roughly the same age difference,
Yeah.
though. It's just kind of transposed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you feel any of that big brother little brother vibe, even just hanging out, or what did it feel like?
I think so, totally. I mean, I have an older sister who's 3.5, 4 years older than me. So I sort of felt that dynamic of just like, you know, I mean, especially in the movies, Zeke and Mo sort of play like as if they're brothers. So like, I think it really helped actually also that we were able to mess around so much and sort of just like get to know each other. Cause at the end of the day, like that's what it sort of felt like, is that we were just like two homies making a movie and made it super easy. I don't know if I answered your question at all. Sorry, I sort of spaced, but
You did.
Yeah.
You did enough. It was pretty good. I liked it. It was
Thank
good. We've got a couple of minutes left. We're gonna go and make sure we get some questions from the audience and stuff as well. But I 100%, in addition to talking about this, wanted to bring up your role in Lock and Key.
yes,
That's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Have you
and-
seen it? You
Oh yeah,
finished
well,
the whole
I
thing?
talked to Lisla.
Oh,
like
awesome.
last week about it, and so
Oh, my
I've seen your
counterpart.
other half. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Spoilers if you haven't watched Lock and
Yeah,
Key yet.
I'd say
Earmuffs.
Go
but-
watch it right now, and
Yeah.
then put this on pause. Go watch it. Come back.
And then come back because we're
Yes.
gonna talk about it briefly
10
here.
hours later.
How excited were you when you found out that that's what Gabe was going to
It
be?
was so cool, man. The thing is, I actually knew when I was auditioning. Like they didn't just, you know.
They didn't spring that on you.
No,
You
they
knew
didn't
what you were
spring that
getting
on me.
into.
They were like, I mean, I only auditioned like the nice, funny, like love interest roles. But right after my first audition, they gave me a call and they were like, by the way, like it's not just like a nice kid, like you're playing a demon. And I was like, oh hell yes.
Finally.
I was like, fine, because I've never played the bad guy role really. I mean, I mean maybe on like 1 or 2 occasions, but like not really ever like the bad guy. And so this was fun because I get to do like the tall girl Jack Dunkelman like sweet kid, but then also I'm like no.
Exactly. Pump the brakes.
Yeah, pump the brakes, and I actually get to like dive into the world of like playing like a villain, playing the evil guy, which is
Did
just
they,
like
like,
so not.
Tease you a little bit. They tell you like, hey, if we get a season 2, here's what's going to happen for you. Like, did they give you like a roadmap of like where you're going to get to go a little bit?
Sort of, yeah. I've talked to Meredith and Carlton, the showrunners, about what it entails, and I mean, they're so excited. They haven't told me exactly what happens, but they've filled me in. They're like, season 2, man.
Yeah.
You do some crazy things, and I was just like, yes.
So awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's
So
funny because I
cool.
think because you're right. I think typically you end up playing the good dude, and it's because you kind of have that air about you. But that's almost exactly why you're perfect for this bad guy.
Yeah.
It's because like
You never expect.
you never expect
Yeah.
it, and so that's just really exciting. You get to stretch those muscles and stuff.
Thanks, man.
Well, I look forward to that, and we got that coming up. You've done like a million projects. We've got this is going to be in theaters. It says March 20th on Hulu, but it's actually
Yeah.
a limited release nationwide on the 13th.
Yeah.
So if you're around, you're part of that limited release. Go see it in theaters. It's
It's gonna be
fantastic.
so much better in a movie theater. Man,
I think
I'm
so. It's a
telling you.
good group movie.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
But Hulu is the perfect place for it to live. I'm so excited that like I love this project so much. So I'm so excited that like sometime in the future I could just be like scrolling through Hulu and just be like, oh, you know what? No, I'm just gonna watch that.
yeah, this happened.
Yeah, this happened.
It's pretty awesome. All right, so that's gonna be on Hulu. Lock and Key is on Netflix right now. Mike, you're just taking over all the streaming platforms.
Don't tell anyone.
Anything else that you want to plug before we go to the audience? What else did you work on? What else?
Dinner in America just made it to Sundance this year, and that was really cool. I don't know when that comes out, but keep your eye out for it because that's a really awesome project.
Dinner in
as
America.
well.
Wait, didn't you premiere this at Sundance?
I did 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Was that your first Sundance?
That was my first Sundance.
Wow. What was that like?
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Excited to go back?
So excited. Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, if I do anything else that makes it, but fingers crossed, dude. Sundance is the best.
Awesome. All right. Well, watch all of those things. And if you have watched them, watch them again.
Yeah.
All right. We got a couple of questions in the room. Let's get to all of them. The first one's from Sashi. You should have a microphone. Where are you at? Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Sasha.
Griffin.
Hi.
My first question was that I had seen you, like the first project I saw you in was middle school. And I remember that I had like cried after I watched the movie. My sisters were crying. So I was just wondering, like, how did you feel after you made that movie and after you like read the script? Like, how
Middle school was an amazing project for me. It was like my first big leading, like really truly leading role. And I met Thomas Barbuska on it, who's like one of my best friends. And I don't know, him and I watching that movie, I feel like because we had worked on it for so long and read the script so many times, the first time we read the script, we cried. After that, we sort of got used to it. But then every time we've watched it since then with people just start crying. And it's like insane. I mean, literally before I came here today, Thomas's uncle sent him a picture of him watching Middle School and crying. Like, that's not a joke. Like, that happened literally like less than a couple hours ago. But it's sorry, I keep not answering the questions. I just go off on these tangents.
So you answered that one. And the
Okay,
tangents are great.
Tangents are great. Awesome.
Yeah,
Good
people
to
love
know.
tangents.
I'm not totally blowing this.
No,
All
they
right.
tune in for the tangents.
cool.
That's why they're here.
But yeah, I don't think we cry about it as much anymore. But that's still seriously like a tear-jerking scene. Yeah.
Do you feel like you and Tom, after everything you guys, you did that film, you had the Mick, I think you were on a couple
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
This thing, do you feel like you went to school with him? Like,
I feel like I see people like on a daily basis, like 10 times more often than I see Thomas, and I don't think I know anyone as well as I like know Thomas. Just because like it'll go like months at a time where we don't see each other, and then we link up on a project and we just catch up for like hours and.
that's a sign of a good friend. That's a true friend right there.
Good friend right there.
Exactly. All right, let's do one more. Daniel or Danielle? Nope, Daniel. There it is. What's
Hey.
up?
What up, Daniel?
All right, what's up? It's probably the greatest day of my life because you were one of my favorite actors.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. I almost cursed, but no way. That's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so
Man.
I was wondering, would you ever work with Bailey Madison again? Yeah, because
Bailey, yes. Yeah, I would love to. For people who don't know, I worked with Bailey on Just Go With It. And that was, which was my first project. So she's sort of like always going to have that special place in my heart of like, the first person I really worked with that was my age. And she was a pro back then. I mean, she'd already done Bridge to Terabithia, which like I was a huge fan of. I was like 9, and I was like, this movie's the shit. This movie's the best. So yeah, I would love to work with her again. I need to text her. I don't know what she's up to right now, but like, yeah, I'll put something together, man, just for you.
There we go. You just put it out in the universe.
There
It
we
happens
go.
again.
if I ever direct a movie, because I want to be a director in the future, it would be an honor to have you in my film.
Me and Bailey,
Okay,
dude, let's
yeah.
go. This is the project. It's coming together right now. This is so
We're
exciting.
witnessing history together. This is
Yeah.
very exciting.
Seriously, man, that'd be awesome.
before we get out of here, you talk about working with Bailey. We talked about Pete. We talked about Machine Gun Kelly. But this cast in general is amazing on this. There's so many awesome people that you got to work with. What was it like with like Emily and with John Cryer and with all these different people that were out there? What was the vibe all across the board?
Every time I name this cast, I'm always so scared that I'm going to leave like one person out and never hear the end of it.
Emily's actually going to be on our show next, so don't forget her.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Emily. No, but everyone brought something like awesome to this project. Emily was so great, and I think she killed it as in the movie as my sister. Absolutely crushed it. I mean, it's gonna be so hard to like list everything that everyone brought to this project because John Cryer was like, I mean, an absolute legend, and he brought such a great energy to the set, and he was so great and helpful. God, see, now I'm like reeling. Sydney Sweeney, yeah, she was great. She was, so awesome to work with. I have nothing but nice things to say about these people. It's gonna be so boring to hear me like compliment all these people, but just everyone crushed it, dude.
Didn't
the cast.
expect you to talk shit. It's okay. I figured you'd have nice things.
No, but like the cast was huge but tiny at the same time, and just like everyone had such big energies that like it all just meshed together perfectly.
Yeah. Well, you get that vibe. Watching the movie, it feels like everyone was there doing the same thing, working towards the same goal. And you get this beautiful story, this both sad and really sweet relationship. There's so much going on here. Truly, congratulations, man. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Nah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
And congrats on the trillion other things that are going on right now that people can watch. Many more to you, dude. Thanks, guys, for being here and hanging out. What a great audience. Great questions. I look forward to seeing your directorial debut, sir. And to those that tuned in, thank you. We're going to wrap things up, but Big Time Adolescence, it is limited nationwide on the 13th, so go see it in the theater, get some friends together. If you miss it, then stay home and watch it on Hulu on the 20th, all right?
Woo!
Everybody make some noise. That's Griffin
Let's
Gluck.
go.
Right there.
Thanks.